Welcome to Pop Yak. I'm your host Momo, and it's time to talk about Beastars. This episode is called Tragedy on the Waves. We get to why later. Legoshi does some more detective work, which I think is great for him. He really needs to flex those mental muscles as well as his physical ones, because those are the ones that's going to get him in less scraps and get him in less danger for when he has that family he wants to start with Haru. So he eavesdrops on the conversation that the sloth is still having with Melon. Melon's gone. The sloth just is so slow to react to stuff. This is just how slow he's reacting. So, is this ethical? Who knows? Will this sloth start talking to Legoshi once he's gone? Like, are you eavesdropping on our conversation? I can just feel that in my heart. For some reason, I can just see the sloth like remembering that conversation and telling it back. And hell, that's probably what happened. I'm pretty sure the sloth relayed this conversation, accidentally or otherwise, to the kangaroo fella we see cleaning up the joint, who suggests that your boy Legoshi gets a cute little bunny tattoo, which is odd. That's odd that he said that. It's almost like he knows something. I think that the kangaroo is in on it. I know when Melon says that he has great hearing is literal, like that's one of his hybrid superpowers, but also maybe he means I have ears everywhere. He seems to also have himself everywhere. I don't know if he can clone himself or what, but dude is always all over at all times. He has enough time in his day to run the mafia, to teach at a school, to kill people, to stay up all night going to clubs and going to weird Eyes Wide Shut parties. This dude has all the time in the world. I wish I had as much time as Melon, but I guess time is money, right? Or money is time. He has so much money, he doesn't have to worry about wasting his time doing anything else. So I guess he can pick up all these dumb extracurricular activities, which will probably just make him more rich. You know what they say, it takes money to make money. Then we go over to your boy Louis, who is, alright dude, you want to be the Beastar, let's see what you can do with that. I think that's what Yahya also intends in this episode, is to see that kind of same fire for himself, which is why he threw him to the wolves, metaphorically speaking, but also physically. I think there were some wolves there taking pictures as well in the press. So he's like, look, I'm gonna make my way up there, but I don't want him to see me coming up there. He walks all the way up there with his prosthetic leg on, and he's having a time, but he doesn't seem to take too long to get up there because he's able to find the dude he's looking for. He didn't go to lunch or something. So your boy Louis walks all the way up the stairs. I don't think he starts at 0. I think he starts on the 30 something floor, because you know they lie and tell, oh, nobody lives on top of the police station, like it's not visible that there's an entire glass office up there from anybody with a telescope or keen eyes. Like if you were a bird, you probably notice dude's office. But then again, maybe if you notice dude and dude noticed you noticing dude, you wouldn't exist much longer. Like I'm sure Yahya would send somebody to your house and be like, you want to be fertilizer for carrots, motherfucker? Give it up to Louis for making it all the way up there. The drama club is really trying to do their play that they had Louis in last time, which is all about, you know, togetherness and we shall overcome type stuff. But the principal is like, nah, bro, you're gonna have to figure out another way to do it. So I'm gonna predict that what we're gonna get is the students making a new play, a new version of this play where they're segregated on purpose, and it kind of makes everything awkward and weird, and maybe that's the message of the play. I think that's where I'm going with it. Big up for Ellis for coming here with Bill, because he's a big terrifying tiger. He could probably make a quick snack out of her. I'm very proud of her for being in here, and I'm sure that the Louis ends up in an elevator going up further than where he was, because he kind of got caught by security, sort of, but he was able to get away with it with the old shedding antlers trick. But he encountered the security tiger in the elevator, and that tiger's like, oh yeah, you know, I just had a Keenus. It was delicious. And Louis like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You know that's terrible for you, right? I don't know why, it's great. I feel great, everything's great. And then he attacks Louis because he's just ripped his antler out of his head. I'm sure he has like residual blood from doing that. And now there's a tiger who just drank Keenus, who's activated because of the trace amounts of meat, I guess, that are in Keenus that gets you all hype for consuming more meat. Exactly the problem Louis is here to stop. How ironic it would be if he died here. But luckily for him, his prosthetic saves him, and he's able to also get saved by Yahya, who beats the crap out of this tiger. I mean, that has to be a concussion, right? Dude is having a bad day after that. I hope he gets the help he needs. With Yahya's strictness, hopefully he's learned from Legoshi's selflessness, and maybe he doesn't turn this dude into fertilizer, but I don't know. Yahya kind of runs a tight ship. And after almost getting Legoshi killed, he's like, you know what, kid? You go out there and handle your situation, to Louis, who goes out in front of the cameras and explains to everybody that Key Nest sucks. Like, this scene was baller and everything, but I also feel bad about what happens immediately after this, when his dad gets on his ass about screwing everything up. Because it turns out his fiance's family has stake in Key Nest, which is kind of bizarre considering that they're also deer. What kind of shady crap is his dad doing? We already know the shady crap that is, and poor Louis' amputated leg got exposed to the world as well, and so now his dad is worried about that, like, oh, my son looks weak on TV, my very own son. And they're also calling it like an act, like he staged this as a hoax. I'm glad he went out and said something about it, because it is in fact dangerous. And I'm glad that Yahya's dumbass plan worked, even though it was dumb, after getting Legoshi in as much trouble as he got him in, to put Louis in a similar situation. Yahya is my least favorite character. His dad even insinuates that he's gay, or that he's only into other species, which we know is probably true. Like, he seems to only really get a thrill from carnivores. I'm sure he'd make a great third for Legoshi and Haru. He has something that they both want in partners. Later on, we see even Haru's friend like, you should dump that Zero and get with a hero about Legoshi, because he doesn't call her or text her. And yeah, he's doing his own thing and he's very busy, and I get Haru's feelings. Again, we're feeling like this is invincible, which another thing I watch, Legoshi is vibing on a beach, and then he thinks about how great this beach is, how he wants to bring his friends and family out here and just chill. He wants to vibe, and he's like, damn, I love living. Living is so great. And when you think about that, like a character thinking, oh, I can't wait to live, and maybe I'm gonna marry Haru and start a family, and everything's great, and I love being alive, immediately warning bells start blaring. Immediately red flags everywhere, because you know as well as I do that doesn't bode well for our boy. Melon is here. What's up with psychopaths on the beach? Definitely check out Fruits Basket to understand that reference. But Melon's out here like, hey, I'm gonna kill you again. I heard you loving life. I'm evil. Some people are just messed up. You can't just change anybody. And I know Legoshi has a certain feeling about him, about how wonderful and beautiful Melon is, and there's good deep down inside him. Maybe there isn't. Maybe this dude is just messed up. He can't seem to cope with his situation. And I understand why Legoshi would want to try to help him through this, because this is something his mother went through. And he's like, I don't want you to end up like my mom. But at the same time, Legoshi, this dude is a monster, and he shot you already. What makes you think he's not going to shoot you again? Because that's what happens. It's like that big Damo tweet, but instead of some wrestlers are dumb, I don't know what to tell you, it just shows up on the screen like, some people are just evil, I don't know what to tell you. And Legoshi's big heart is too big to accept that. And he gets thrown into the drink. We lose our boy again for the second time. I think he survives this. He's probably a really good swimmer by now. I'm sure his seal friend has been teaching him all about stuff under the ocean, or maybe our seal friend is the one who saves Legoshi because he's diving in the water and finding things out, or maybe other sea life saves him, or maybe he's about to get eaten by a shark and then the seal saves him. But those are my predictions. I know he's going to survive, and I think that our seal friend has something to do with it. This was also a revelation. Turns out, like I said before, your boy Melon is teaching the class. So right after we see Legoshi get Disney murdered, it turns out he's teaching Haru in class. Has he always been teaching Haru? Is he the, air quotes, substitute teacher who's only here for today because he knows who Haru is and he's here to tie up loose ends? Or is he legitimately their teacher and she has no idea that he's screwed up? This was a great cliffhanger, especially because we can just kind of go on and watch the next episode. This was dumped on Netflix, so there's no waiting for another week before you get the resolution of this. You can just binge it. But I wanted to yap about it first, so I'm going to go catch that next one. Sometimes the biggest battles we fight are inside ourselves. I love you.